Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Elbows Tight Podcast. I'm your host, Travis. John's sitting across from me. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing good. Ready to get this started.
Ready to do this. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Started off kind of poopy, though. I was coaching this morning at CrossFit, and we had sled pushes. And last night, everyone was super amped that I talked to about doing these sled pushes because we never do sled pushes. And it was, beautiful yesterday. And then we get to the gym this morning, and it was rainy, cloudy, windy, absolutely ugly. And so we're trying to do these sled pushes outside, right? And they're supposed to be heavy sled pushes, right? I felt so bad for these people because everyone was talking about how amped they were to do these sled pushes. And their feet are slipping all over the place. They're trying to push heavy weight because it was supposed to be heavy sled pushes. And they're like, there's just no way. It was a 100-foot sled push, right? And what should have took maybe, I don't know, a minute, maybe. People were doing like 2.5 minutes, just fighting sled, flawing off. Like,
I can't even remember the last time we did sled pulls. It's been a long time, even for me. I like doing those.
Sled pushes?
Yeah.
Dude, they're awesome. And especially for jiu-jitsu, it's a very, very cool thing, working that posterior chain, your glutes, your hammies, and delivering power straight into that. But I felt so bad for him because it was not optimal weather, optimum circumstances to get this thing going. So,
well, it sounds better than work, and that's what I did all day. So,
well, not all day, all morning.
Well, 5 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon felt like all day.
Yeah,
yeah. I think I'd have rather been out in that weather.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Workout.
Yo, can you scoot your mic a little bit closer?
Why, you can't hear me?
Well, yeah. I mean, I need to get
better.
Yeah, I just need to get that full Barry Manilow.
Oh, I like it.
So, hey, before we get any further today,
we're gonna talk about this beer.
We're gonna talk about this.
We should
delicious. I mean, this thing is probably the best beer I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, well, let's tell them what it is.
Sarcasm.
I don't know how you pronounce it. What is it? Elysian?
Yeah.
Elysian Red Candle. It's a holiday season with cranberries. So I'm just going to read it to you real quick. Inspired by the holiday season, Red Candle is a saison brewed with cranberries, sage, dry and tart with an earthly and spicy nose. So I think this was probably bottled in December.
Yeah, and it's been fermenting since then.
Yeah. So, I mean, we shouldn't knock it too hard since we don't know how old it actually is. And I think it's like went in a fridge, then to an ice chest.
And then a fridge.
And then back to a fridge.
And then a hot car for a little bit.
It's probably got hot, cooled off, got hot again.
This beer has literally been moving around for the last couple months. I took it over to John's to drink it over there when we were having a barbecue one night. And I completely forgot about it because it's if you guys, we posted a picture of it on our Instagram at ETP Pod on the Instagram. If you guys want to see what a bottle looks like, we're going to start doing that with each one of our drinks that we have. That way it puts a picture to it also when you guys are like, oh, I wanted to try that. So this is the first one that we posted on the Instagram. And it looks like a cool bottle. It looks like
it's got a cork.
Yeah, it had a cork. It looks like a wine bottle. So I was like, man, this thing's got to be delicious, right? No, wrong. Absolutely wrong. This thing is, unless you like eating, what's that pine cone smelling stuff?
Well, what it's similar to me, even looking at it, whenever you make sourdough bread and you have to do a starter kit, this is what it looks like, and it almost smells like a sourdough bread kit.
Yeah.
For anyone that likes to bake,
Yeah, I was expecting something completely different than that. It's not bad. It's definitely very tart. And I can taste the winter season, the holiday season in the bottle.
Yeah, I can definitely taste that.
Yeah, it's got a nice color to it though. I like the color. It kind of looks like a
unfiltered beer.
Like a apple juice. That's what I was saying. Looks like an unfiltered apple juice kind of to me. So, but it does not taste like that. It does not.
It does not.
If you guys get it around the holiday season, I would recommend trying it with a friend.
Like fresh,
and then let them buy the bottle in case you don't like it. You don't feel bad for wasting it.
That's good. I like that.
So, hey, but today's episode, all we're going to talk about today is just Revolution, right? John went to Revolution. That was last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I dropped in at a local gym around here, got to experience a cool thing with the local community, which was awesome, a whole lot of fun. and just talk about some things and what we're experiencing lately. Jiu-jitsu's been great for us this week. We've done a lot of super cool, fun things in the sense of we always talk about the basics, and we've been going over a lot of basics lately. It's been pretty nice, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Like just simple. In class, we've been going over how to break guard, which is one of my favorite things to do, how to pass guard, once again, one of my favorite things to do, as well as we went back into your favorite drills, the sweeping arm bars, sweeping triangles, drills, do those for a minute and a half. Those have been a whole lot of fun. So, but it's been a good week. I've honestly been enjoying it, and my knee feels great.
Which probably helps you enjoy it.
Dude, yeah, exactly, because I'm not worried too much about how bad it feels and putting too much pressure on it and whatnot. So it's been pretty nice. It's been a good week of jiu-jitsu.
So let's start with hybrid first. So why don't you go ahead and tell them where you went and all that stuff? Maybe a little history on it. You could tie it into when Billy was on.
Yeah. So I recently dropped in. So quick backstory to why Jon and I dropped in at hybrid. So Jon and I, there's multiple local gyms in our area, and Jon and I have a good idea of dropping in to the schools around us. So the first one that we decided to do was Hybrid Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, over in Bremerton, Washington. It is ran by George Hasaka, right?
I think it's Hasong.
Sorry, George, if you ever listened to this.
We might be butchering that last name.
Might be butchering it. But he is the black belt that Billy Adams, if you go back and listen to Billy Adams' episode, Billy Adams talks about how back in the early 90s, Marcelo Alonso comes up to the Pacific Northwest and starts jiu-jitsu up here. Duke, the black belt that Billy has his blue belt under, and then George, the one that owns Hybrid Gym, were the first two black belts up here in the Pacific Northwest. So George has been in the Pacific Northwest since the early 90s, if not earlier than that. And if I'm completely wrong on this, please let me know. But Hybrid has been a jiu-jitsu school for, I think they said 18 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Last 18 years. And so it was quite the experience to go in there and be in a school with so much history, so much upbringing, and technique. That's really what it came down to. Like, those guys are legit. They were super legit. And it was a fantastic experience to go in there and check it out. Because in my class alone, I dropped in, I think it was a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
And in my class alone, there was 4 black belts in the class. And then there was like 2 or 3 brown belts, a couple purple belts, and a couple high-level blue belts. And it was great, man. The amount of knowledge that is in a class with that many colored belts, and the amount of technique and the amount of opportunity for growth was amazing, man. You know, and dropping in from another school, what was awesome is some of them were like, Travis, come here. Yeah. Come here, let's roll. And then I proceeded to get my butt kicked by these black belts that were just so smooth. It was fun. I don't know how to defend knee bars.
Yeah.
I think I got knee barred 6-7 times.
Yep.
Within like a 5-minute rule. I got a straight ankle lock done to me. Chris got me in a knee bar.
And I tell you, when I dropped in there, it was kind of the same for me. I didn't know how to even protect those, so that was good. I was like, well, I definitely need to research this. You know, at least defend it.
Yeah, they're white belts. We kind of did a passing the guard class. Our buddy Chris, who's going to be on the podcast next weekend, he's a black belt over there. It was his class that he was instructing, and they promoted a guy to purple belt before he left. This was his last class that was there. And so they promoted him to purple belt, and Lordell was there to watch it. So that was cool for Lordell to see. And then...
Don't cry, man.
No. I think it's this fantastic beer messing up my throat. But so Lordell's sitting there, and the guy gets his blue belt or his purple belt, right? Everyone's like giving him hugs and like, hey, good job, man. Good job. And they're like, all right, line up for the gauntlet. And I was like, ooh, I ain't going to participate in this, right? Because in my eyes, I'm dropping in. I'm not a student there. I didn't want to participate in a gauntlet when I don't know the person. I haven't trained with them. You know, it was just like out of respect for me. The second I step over to the side, everyone's like, skirt. what are you doing? I was like, no, it's your guys' class. Like, your classmate. I was like, that's it. I'm not here to. And I was like, bro, you better get in here, man. And I was like, all right, man. So went in, joined the line. And Lordell the whole time is like, what is going on? Like, what is this gauntlet thing we're talking about? And I was like, ooh, better watch it, baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
And then it started, and I got a couple of licks in on the guy, but that was a cool experience. And then we all just started to open roll, and I think I only got like three spar or 3 rolls in. One with a white belt, who was really good. He got me with an Ezekiel. I knew the Ezekiel was coming the entire time. It was kind of like one of those situations, like how would I get out of this? I was like, I know he's gonna do like in Ezekiel, unless you do it super sneaky, everyone knows you're trying for an Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Like,
you start reaching and grabbing that sleeve, like, all right, here it comes.
Here we go, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, how would I get out of this? Because we've never gone over defense for an Ezekiel, so I was just kind of winging it, and I ended up getting caught with it perfectly fine. I didn't mind. So I got caught with that, and then I rolled with one of the black belts, and dude was as strong as an ox. I think his name's Matt, and he's this old Marine guy.
Looks like somebody from Cast of the 300.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I
yeah.
think he's in his 50s. Guy's got a better body than I did in my early 20s. I proceeded to roll with him. That was the one that called me out and was like, Travis, come on. And during our roll, he's like, he stops and looks at me as I'm trying to pass his guard. He's like, you can attack. It's okay. As you can see, he's like talking, like pep talking me. He's like, as you can see, I'm not going very hard, so you can go a little bit harder. And I was like, I just want to let you know, I am trying to attack, but I have no idea how to get past your guard, so I'm literally just thinking about it.
For me, when they do that, it actually makes it harder for me because I'm used to reacting so much. And I'm like, I don't have anything to react off of.
Right.
I don't know what to do.
I kind of need you to give me a little bit of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You just sit there. Like Marcus did that all the time in Japan. You would, and Blake or Blaine, they would just sit there and they would just stare at you, palms up, and stare.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? You need to stick an arm out and grab me or something.
Are you falling asleep on me?
Yeah.
and then you go to reach for it, and all of a sudden you're getting armbarred. You know what I mean? So, but that was cool. And then I rolled with our buddy Chris, who, like I said earlier, a little bit ago, who's going to be on the podcast next weekend. He is a black belt under George as well. And our agreement was if Jon and I drop in, do a class at his school, he'll come on the podcast. So he was originally supposed to be on this episode, but due to scheduling reasons, he is going to be on here next weekend. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be the first black belt on the show.
And I think by next weekend, you say next weekend, but it'll probably be the following, right?
No, it's next weekend. Yeah, he said. Oh, no, it's going to be next Sunday because I'll be back. I'm going camping, so we're not going to record on Saturday.
As am I.
Are you not going to be back Sunday?
Maybe, but it'll be late.
Oh.
I'll be in Oregon.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to talk to Chris.
Or you can do it with just him.
You think so? I want you here for the
I'm sure
experience.
they'll miss my voice, but
the Barry Manilow voice. So he might be on next weekend. Belay my last. He might be on next weekend. He might be on the weekend after that. I'm going to tell him he can come over during the week too, which is perfectly fine. It could be a Wednesday or something like that. Oh well, no, he teaches on Wednesday. Anyways, so that was my experience at Hybrid. Thank you guys so much from Hybrid for letting me drop in and let me experience your school and everything like that. It was well worth it, and I felt very welcomed and look forward to going back and experiencing it. And if anyone in the Pacific Northwest area wants to come in and drop in at our school, at Pacific Northwest Jiu-Jitsu over in Silverdale, or if you're looking for another school, Hybrid's a great school. They have a lot of open mat space and very large classes, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of good experiences and whatnot. So, how was it over there for you when you went?
Hybrid?
Yeah,
it was good. I was you're always like a little nervous, right? Like you don't know what you're really getting into when you go somewhere new, and I didn't know anyone there. You couldn't go, so I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna roll solo on this. And I think I tend to get I don't know. I think when I roll with brand new people or places, I don't know, it was just different. I think I might have been a little high strung while I was there. I don't know.
What do you mean by high strung?
Well, when I was rolling with I think the one I said looks like 300. I can't remember.
Yeah,
his name.
Matt. I think his name.
Yeah,
is Matt.
I think several times he told me, I could go a little less intensity.
Oh, he said go easier.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm used to rolling at our gym, and like, most everyone there is freakishly strong at my gym too, and they all work out.
Yeah.
So I think we tend to roll with just more intensity.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I probably rolled 5 or 6 times, and I was pretty spent. I was pretty tired.
Yeah. What did you get caught with anything? Well, but
I got caught with lots of stuff. A lot of the ankle locks. I think 1 or 2 knee bars.
Mm-hmm.
I did roll with a white belt, and he was really smooth. He got me in something. I don't remember what it was, but he was really good.
And you mentioned that before I went. And the only experiences that we've really had with other white belts outside of our school was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And Japan was kind of like on the same level as us, as in the coaching out in Japan was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The coaching and teaching in our school here in Washington is absolutely great. The only thing is in Japan, as same with our schools, we don't have a higher ranking, like a large majority of high ranking people, right? So we have 1 or 2, maybe 3 instructors for a class, and they can't touch everyone. They can't see everything. You know what I mean? And it's their scope of knowledge is limited, more limited than if you had a class full of 4 black belts that come from different backgrounds and different life experiences, whatnot. But so when I went to hybrid, yeah, dude, like you said, they were super smooth.
They were super smooth.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like they were just smoother than I was, where they at that same level for them. Like, they just seemed a little smoother.
Yeah.
And, I was going to tie that into the Revolution. So you probably heard me talk on previous episodes. Like, I'm not competing. That's not something I'm into. Not going to do it. But I went and watched Revolution, and I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to try something, I like to research it.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I don't want somebody to tell me. I want to go put eyes on it.
Right.
So I got out there and I watched, and luckily I got there pretty early, so I got to watch our friend Billy, who was on a previous podcast, if you guys remember Billy.
Billy Adams.
I caught his right as it started.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to watch him compete, and I got to watch a lot of pretty much blue belts compete. I missed the black and brown belts. I guess they started really early. I got there about 9:45. But some of the similarities were when we drop into hybrid and we roll with all those new people, basically it's like competition.
Yeah.
Like, we're showing up. We don't know the person we're rolling with. From what I saw, it was very similar.
Similar?
Yeah. And it's the beer messing with me.
It's making my lips numb. It's weird.
But it was interesting. So I went to watch the Revolution. Some of the stuff I talked about afterwards, where I did not see a whole lot of submissions.
Points.
I probably saw less than 5, and I was there, I don't know, around 5 or 6 hours. And it was a lot of points. I didn't see anything that would make me uncomfortable. I got to watch a lot of the people that go to our school, and that was exciting. Some of the lessons I took away was, well, for one, I'm going to compete in November.
Yeah, as well am I, most likely.
So we're going to do it now. And I did notice that a lot of our guys, they were trying to cut weight to get to a certain class.
Uh-huh.
And they seemed tired a lot earlier than normal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that could be nerves, and it was the first time competing.
And maybe they were going a little bit harder than usual as well.
Yeah, and I talked to them after the matches, and they said they were hungry. They said they were really tired, and they went and got food and they ate because they still had some no-gi later and some more they were gonna do later that day. But I think starting now, I would work at getting to the weight I want to get at.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that listening and probably don't care, right now I'm about 170. So I think I would like to get down to 164 by November.
Yeah.
But
we can get you a personal nutrition coach.
Yeah, right.
Cody Smith.
But it was a lot of fun watching. It was exciting. The blue belt level that I was watching, man, they were so smooth, and they were not they were just more relaxed, it seemed like, or they had more of a plan. And when they were going against each other, there was just no crazy erratic movements or anything.
Yeah.
And then when
Everything
I watched,
was calculated, kind of.
Yeah. When I was watching the white belt ones, what it reminded me of was like 2 bulls that
I love this analogy,
that
bro.
locked horns, and because it starts standing up, right? We don't do a whole lot of stand up. We went over it,
God.
but even when we do our practice sparring at the end of a session,
it's on your knees or
yeah,
whatever.
we're always on our knees or sitting down. And I was thinking, man, I might start asking my partners if we can just start standing.
Yeah. The problem, quick interruption, the problem that we don't start standing is because we have such little mat space in class.
And I notice you tend to move around more when you're standing. But it could just be from stand up to, maybe, I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but that would be a weakness for me in a competition, would definitely be stand up. And, doing it moving forward, I told you, I think my strategy would be I would take that 4 minutes for me because I'd be in the executive level.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I would rather hunt a submission vice the points. That's just me.
Yeah.
And I think when we really start training for it, I'm going to train myself to just hunt those submissions for the 4 minutes and then focus on reversals and sweeps.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it's going to go points, it's going to be reversals or sweeps. It
Yeah.
seems like you get a lot of points there. And, I'm more comfortable playing off my back. So if I'm going to need it, that's what I'm going to need is a reversal or a sweep. But it was fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone there, but what was I doing? I was running Ragnar. No, we went to go see Amy Wong, the stand-up comedian. But I did see a bunch of the videos from the gi portion of it that John sent me, and yeah, it looked fun. I when I do it if or when I do it in November, most likely gonna do it in November.
You're like 98%.
Like
sure.
98% sure. Most likely just gonna do no gi. Everyone says, "Oh, you should do gi too. It's only like $55 or whatever for both." But that's a long day, man.
It is.
That is a long day.
Yep.
A long day of getting your butt kicked. And I'm like, I just don't really feel like doing that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah. Those guys got there at like 8 a.m, and some of them didn't even start till like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Billy said his no-gi started at, I think it was 5 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That would be a nightmare.
For sure.
Because they go first in the morning, too. So he was there all day. He's like, I just went into the parking lot and I did some slackline. I just had my slackline there. It was just slacklining.
But our school did really well.
Yeah, we did.
There were
almost
a lot of medals.
Every person that participated
got a medal.
Got a medal.
Yeah. And the kids did too.
Kids, yep.
That was excellent. I was like, man, it was good to see like all the time and effort everyone's putting in, pays off.
Absolutely.
And, like I said, we don't really get to see any other school, so it was good to see how we compare up and measure up.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it.
I think for next time when someone is getting ready to compete in our school, they should definitely drop in at other schools around the area.
I recommended it to all of our guys competing.
If you guys are out there and you're thinking about competing, if you want a good test to... Oh, you're wincing your face with that beer, bro.
Oh, so good. So good.
But if you want a good quick test on your skill and see where you're at, just go to another school. Just don't be that courtesy, right? Don't be that guy showing up just trying to destroy everyone in the class, because someone's going to have your number when you get there if you try that, right? They're going to notice it real quick and they're going to be like, skirt. Nope.
So while we're talking about it, we should pick the next school to drop in on now. So I'm thinking it's either going to be
let's do the Gracie one.
The Poulsbo one?
Yeah, the Gracie one in Poulsbo.
Well, I was going to say we can see if anyone's actually listening to this and comment on us on which one of the two we should go to.
Yeah, absolutely. On our next, either comment on our Facebook page or on our Instagram posts what gym we should drop in at, and we can do some posts.
So our choices are I think it's like Warrior Buddha and Poulsbo. And I watched those guys compete. They were really good.
Really?
Yeah. Like, matter of fact, I think Derek's second match was with a guy from there.
Really?
So that's one choice. And I believe the second one, I don't know if we have another one around here. Do you know of another one? Because the only one I can think of is 253 that Jelson goes to, which is in Tacoma.
I thought there was one in Bainbridge.
No, I think that's the Warrior Buddha. I think it used to be in Bainbridge and it moved to Poulsbo.
Oh. I don't think there's... I think there's one in Gig Harbor, if I remember
Well, there's
correctly.
also like a grappling jiu-jitsu kind of class at Kitsap Combat Sports.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. We could try that out too.
Yeah.
But I think what would be good for not only us experiencing the community through jiu-jitsu, like dropping in at other schools, but we get to meet some cool people.
Oh, for sure.
And then maybe we'll find someone else for the podcast or whatnot,
Yeah.
So if you guys have any suggestions out there on somewhere in the PNW, whether it's an hour away from us or whatever, we can go there on the weekend or a Friday night or something like that. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions on where we should drop in at so you guys can kick our butts without us knowing it.
that 10th planet one.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the 10th planet in Seattle. Just trying it.
I'll wait till I'm a little better.
Oh my gosh. Everyone starts somewhere, John. But 10th planet's also purely no gi.
Is it?
Yeah.
Woo.
10th planet jiu-jitsu is straight no gi. And they Eddie Bravo is the owner and founder of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And he straight up says, he's like, if you can't do certain movements due to mobility, you will never get a black belt from me. He's like, you have to be mobile. He's like, you have to spend at least 10, 15 minutes a day stretching and getting more mobile, because a lot of his techniques you need very good flexibility for. Like, I don't know if you know what a gogoplata is.
Mm-mm.
So it's when, say if someone's in your guard and then you go for like a triangle setup, but you have both shoulders in between your legs and you just choke up on them right below their armpits. And then you take one of your shins and you bring it around, trapping the shoulder into the throat and then pulling their throat.
We'll stop there. I'm 41, Travis.
But it's that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of mobility, like I'll blow my back out. I don't even know why my back would get blown out on that, but that's what would happen. But I was thinking about going to there too. But if you guys have any suggestions on places we should go or things we should do to help with jiu-jitsu or whatever, if there's a competition or I kind of want to start following more people on social media too for jiu-jitsu. So if you guys know someone that is pretty good with technique or just has a cool story, that'd be really cool too. I want to get like Trey or Blaine on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work that out.
Yeah, we'll have to do it over the internet.
Oh, for sure.
Or we could just have them. We could pay for the plane ticket to fly them out here.
Oh, good luck with that. Well, it would be interesting to see what they have in Victoria,
Canada.
Yeah.
Yo, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time, and that would
never
be
been.
Interesting. Different country. Drop in, try it out.
Yeah. Hey, and we'll have the portable recorder.
Yep.
I started talking to, interacting a little bit with the owner of Black Label Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram, and he just came out with the DVD set series, and I think I'm going to buy it because it's a guard. What is it called? Heisengard, I believe was what it's called. And it looks pretty legit, and it's just something else to practice and know. But I was talking to him, and he showed this super sweet, the sweep that he showed that we were talking about, where if someone goes to break your guard and they go knee and butt, then you switch your hips to the outside of it and then turn your hips to the, what is it? So say if they stick their right leg in your butt under you to break your guard, then you swing to the outside of that leg and then twist your hips to the outside, and it's a super simple sweep. And I was doing it wrong the first time I was trying. I was trying it on Professor.
I was trying to tell him, and he was like, "No."
I was like, "John, you literally can't tie your shoes." Like, what but I was trying it on Professor, bro, and it was not working. I was like, "What is going on?" But what it did do was throw him off balance, so he stopped trying to break my guard. I noticed that. But guard breaking this week has been a whole lot of fun, man.
My biggest weakness.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? What's maybe someone out there has the same problem as you, but what is the reason that it's difficult for you? What stops you and what makes it difficult for you?
I don't know, man. When they lock that guard in, I just have a hard time breaking it. I don't know if I'm just not going hard enough or if I'm not putting my hands in the right spot. I normally put one in the hip. I'll put the other one up right above the knee, kind of on the inside.
Yeah.
And if I push down, it just doesn't break. What does work for me is if I stand up, but that's
dangerous.
About it. Yeah.
Have you had them come and look at it when you're doing it, or?
Well, I don't know if it makes a difference on who I'm rolling with, but if it's someone similar in size to me, it's not that big a problem. Like Chris, somebody more my size.
Yeah.
But it just seems like if they're 20 pounds heavier than me, I have a really hard time breaking that.
So what I was showing Loredell the other night when we were going over simple guard break is I showed her probably the most basic guard break that you can do because you're literally not moving anything besides your lower back pretty much, right? So I showed her, they have you in your guard. You put your hands on their hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. No,
Right.
You put the hands on their hips, right? Elbows into their thighs, right? Really tight elbows, and then driving them down as low as possible to really put that leverage on the legs. And then a simple, what I was telling her is just like pop her butt out or kind of arch her back to break the feet open. And at first she wasn't getting it. What she was doing, and I'm sure I did this for a long time too, until it just kind of like clicked with me, was she would just push away as hard as possible with her arms, right? And she was kind of pushing me away from her instead of driving my hips into the ground. And
maybe that's what I'm doing.
Maybe that's what you're doing, right? So instead of pushing my hips into the ground and keeping my hips stationary, she would push away from me and then just drive into the back of my legs
when you
harder.
say it like that, that's probably what I'm doing then, because I'm just extending and pushing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm necessarily pushing down.
So think about it next time.
I will.
Push the hips into the ground, isolate the hips, and then when you have all that tension on their feet, it doesn't take very much, right? Especially if they're the same size as you, or they don't have if they have the same experience level as us or less.
Yeah.
A simple, once you have all that tension on their feet, most of the time they're already starting to break.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And then
I'll have to be cognizant of that next time.
Yeah. And then once you drive the hips down, get the elbows in nice and tight, drive. And I told Loredell, I was like, don't be afraid to hurt me right now. Like, I'll let you know if it hurts to the point where I need you to stop. But really drive those elbows into my thighs to make it as uncomfortable as possible for me. And then simply just pop your back, like do a little booty pop. And
Now, do you get worried if you're doing that and they slip a hand in your collar?
For me?
Well, I know in the last class they said if we're in someone's guard and we have the right posture and our elbows are in, right, that you don't have to worry about getting choked out. But I've been choked out from that position before. If someone's really strong and they get a hand in there and they pull you down, and like I think Derek's gotten me in it a couple times.
Yeah.
This is months ago, not any time recently.
Derek Dodd, 3rd episode.
Yeah, but when he gets his hand in there, like, he's strong, you know?
He is. He's a very strong man.
And I've tried to posture up, and I couldn't posture up enough. And then he just gets the other one in, and like I watch out for that now.
I think
you know, when you get your hands in there and you pull them
yeah,
down.
yeah,
if
yeah,
they're
yeah.
really
You're
strong.
a collar. You're talking
you,
about a collar choke. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't pull back up.
So what I was going to say though is I think the difference now is we just had that class where posture. Logan was teaching posture. Logan's a blue belt that teaches in our school, and he was talking about creeping the hands up and then into the hip and posturing up. Now, granted, if you and Derek are the same skill level, and we talk about it all the time, Derek is stronger than you, right? So he's going to win in situations like that where strength just takes over because you both have the same skill level, right? So in situations like that, just don't let him get the collar.
Well,
I guess,
true.
Right?
I mean, yeah,
You know?
I learned that after that. But I was like, well, you got to watch it.
Yeah. So breaking the guard, though, I did it to Chris, one of the white belts in the class.
He plays second, by the way.
Plays second. Dude did
class.
fantastic. I applaud to him for how good he did at the competition. I am very happy for that guy. And quick side note, when we were sparring, I think it was Tuesday. Maybe it was Tuesday. He was my training partner. And after we got done rolling, I was like, bro, you're getting way better. Like, good job. Because a lot of what, and we're still white belts, right? I can't say, can't like speak down. I'm not speaking down to like new white belts, but a lot of things that like newer white belts do that is they don't think about what they're doing. They kind of just get buck wild, like we always talk about, right? Like the two rams locking horns and just going for it. And they don't sit and think and react or fake or lead on so they can do something else, right? And when I was rolling with Chris, during it, he wasn't going hog wild. He wasn't reaching for things and going for certain things. He was very methodical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's getting there. Like, he's starting to think about it. And I told him, I was like, dude, that's legit. was like, that's exactly what you need to keep doing, man. Calm down and just think about what's going on. Because if you start getting buck wild again, you'll miss something.
Yeah,
right?
me and him talked about it a lot because he has a high motor, man, and he
does.
goes and goes and goes and goes, and I'm like, I'm not breathing hard, but he's breathing hard, and I'm like,
right,
I'm just gonna sit here, and
right,
let him keep going. And we talked about it. I was like, man, you just gotta like calm it down.
right. One of my I joke about this all the time. One of my favorite things to do in jiu-jitsu is play defense the entire 5 minutes and just let someone work their butt off, try to get something, and then when the 5 minute gets done, I just get up. Hey, good job, man. And
Yeah, it almost feels like a victory because you're not breathing hard.
Yeah.
They're dying.
And they're like, so if you guys roll with me in class now, you listen to this, you guys are gonna know what I'm doing because I just get up and walk away like, hey, good job, bro. Like good
Yeah,
roll.
yeah.
But really, I just like tiring people out and just playing defense. It's fun to me, man. Until I get caught, and then I'm like, dang it, man.
Well, I'm trying to watch it because when I rolled with Professor last class, he said, I stay pretty tight. He was in my guard, and I guess I clench all my muscles a lot.
Oh, so they get tired pretty quick.
Like my legs, calves, forearm, everything's clenched. And
right.
I think I do that like
Butthole.
the entire time. Yeah, for sure. No oil checks here. And he told me, he was like, man, you're tight the entire time. Because I was like,
you're not relaxed.
Yeah, I could feel the fatigue setting in and like every muscle in my body from holding it. And he was like, yeah, you just got to loosen up and just
relax,
get tight when you feel them going that direction. I'm gonna try. I'm trying to stay aware of that, and I've also been trying to just breathe through my nose the entire time.
I tried that and I
shit
almost
is
passed
hard.
out.
It is difficult.
Whoever says to only breathe through your nose through jiu-jitsu doesn't live in the Pacific Northwest and has allergies.
I've even tried it in CrossFit. So doing the workouts, I'm trying to not breathe through my mouth.
Bro, I'm a straight
like,
mouth breather when I
like,
exercise,
man,
bro.
tough.
I'm like glazed eyes, like mouth wide open.
I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do it.
People are like, Travis, you snoring? Like,
Yeah.
You falling asleep over there? I'm like,
yeah.
soul's leaving my body, man. And that's what it was like when we first started jiu-jitsu. The first couple times we did jiu-jitsu, man, I thought I was in shape. We joke about it all the time. I thought I was in shape. Those first 5 minutes, I was like, I would die in the streets, bro. I am a zebra, and these are all lions, man.
Were you at the seminars when we like started the school?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they were
man.
like 3 to 4 hours long. I was like, I'm dead, and
my legs are like shaking. I got like
I'm like,
Ric
is it
Flair
normal
legs.
to have a sore throat for weeks on end after your first class?
Dude, yes, exactly, right? Because and when Professor Ivan came out and we were doing that back take Kimura omoplata series, bro, the following week after that, because we did so many reps, I was in class in jiu-jitsu, and someone, I think they did a Kimura or an Americana on me, and it was excruciating. And it didn't click to me right away. But I was like, what is wrong with my shoulder, man? And then Phil, one of our buddies, was like, oh, it's probably because we just did that seminar with Professor where it was nothing but shoulder locks the entire time. And I was like, I'm going to say that's probably it. That's probably it. It was to the point where I couldn't even put any weight over my head just because it was like so sore on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been like that in a while, which is pretty nice. So,
me neither.
Yeah.
But now I stay super aware of it.
Yeah, you just got to relax.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the biggest tip I can give anyone, man, especially when they start jiu-jitsu. Relax. But you need those buck wild white belt days, though, to get your butt kicked and then understand what's going on. You're like, oh, man.
I got enough of that. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yeah. When I was rolling with in class the other day, we were doing person on the bottom is so they start one person in guard, one person has their guard, right? Yeah, it's not man, this beer. Let me just tell you guys, if you could have a chance to experience this with us, John literally scooted the empty bottle away from him because he just doesn't want it that much.
Where's the banquet?
And we have Coors Light in here as well. But so one of the small victories that I had was someone was in my guard and it was sweep or submit and then reset, right? And they were just trying to break guard and pass. And they're like, 3, 2, 1, go. Boom. Scissor sweep, dude. It was like quick. I was like, woo, that's a win for me, baby. Just reset. And then I was like, all right, let's try something else, man. But that was a good victory for me when your technique kicks in and instinct kicks in instantly. it was a very rewarding sweep for me because it was smooth.
I think scissor sweep wasn't allowed in the competition too. One of them wasn't allowed. I can't remember what it was. It was some scissor something. They had a guy do it, and he got a DQ.
Are you talking about like a scissor takedown? Like you jump to the side?
Yeah. It was a scissor.
Yeah,
takedown.
dude, those are like super dangerous.
That was the
man.
only penalty I saw the whole time. So
really?
it was pretty clean. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't do throat chokes or esophagus chokes, right? Like you couldn't do.
I think it depended upon what belt level you were. Like like a lot of the more dangerous stuff, or I guess that has more of a propensity for someone to get injured.
Yeah,
that was like black belt, brown belt.
Gotcha. Kind of like wrist locks or blue belts and above.
Yeah,
which I'm gonna let you guys know right now.
Oh God, I'm a blue by then.
Bro,
or half my game's gone.
I'm gonna let you guys know right now. You leave them wrists out.
Yeah, you got me pretty good last week. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, what did I do? How did I get you with the wrist lock?
I don't remember.
I think you were in my guard. And
I think you weren't even trying to do it hard, but it was so fast, and my wrists are always sore anyway. I was like, oh.
I got someone in my guard the other day. He started off in my guard, and I did the simple. If someone quick tip, guys, if you guys don't know this, we learned this in Japan, and it works 99.9% of the time. If you want to break someone's posture when they're in your guard, so. Say they have their.
Oh, I can't believe you're gonna say it.
I know, but it was such a
gonna listen to this.
It was so good, and people are gonna know that I do this now, but it was so good. What you do, say even if they have their hands on your hips and they're holding you down, all you have to do is try to flare their elbows, right? So you grab one elbow or two elbows and you just pull it towards you, and what that's gonna do is it breaks the elbow. Right, and it puts their elbow at an angle so they can't drive into you. And then you can pull their elbow forward, and guess what's there? A big, beautiful wrist lock.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. You can wrist lock a single side, wrist lock both sides. Or, if you want to, you can break their elbows down and then just simply grab the back of the head and pull them into your...
Be careful with that.
What, the wrist lock?
The wrist locks. They're just so fast.
It's super quick. I got someone the other day with it, and I just did a single side, and I just sat up before they could do anything, grabbed the elbow, and then just both hands onto the elbow and then into my wrist or into their wrist. And luckily, he tapped pretty quick to it too. But I was going slow because I knew that it doesn't take much on that, especially if they don't know what's going on. And they're like, oh, that was a good one.
What do you think's your biggest weakness right now in jiu-jitsu?
My biggest weakness in jiu-jitsu, ooh, man.
Like, I mean, what's like your worst? Like, what are you struggling at? Like the worst position?
I think my worst position right now. I don't really know, man.
Seems like you struggle when you're on your back and someone's in mount.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, when someone's in my mount, I just try to get them back into half, right? But if they are in my mount, or if they're mounted me, yeah, I could see. I just go to a
when they get it really deep. Like when I get mount on someone, they have like an almost impossible time getting me off of them.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's pretty much everyone. If you have,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like.
So what I do when someone gets in mount with me and I feel like they're just dominating me, I just go to like my lockdown position, right, where I grab both collars, cross my arms, and I pull my collars tight, and then keep my elbows against my ribs super tight, so that way they can't. And I plant. People say you shouldn't plant your head on the mat, but I just dig my head into the mat and like kind of like lock down my elbows to my ribs and grab my collars and keep everything nice and tight so they can't get anything on me until I find an opportunity to either bridge and try to get them off, or maybe trap and roll, or move a little bit.
Well, that was my guess, so it wasn't good. So, all right. So what is your biggest struggle right now?
Probably when someone has my back.
Really?
Tell you the truth. Yeah, Professor gets me bow and arrows. He got me with that stupid reverse triangle like from the back the other day. I was like, I can't believe I got caught in this thing, man. I was like, dang it, dude. That's probably my biggest weakness. When someone gets my back and they have a good back game, right? Like, well, not even good, like a decent back game. If I can't get my shoulders to the mat, that's my biggest weakness. If I can't get my shoulders to the mat, you got me. I'm pretty much done. I can only muscle through so much and that's the problem, right? Is when it comes to someone taking my back, I don't feel like I can use a whole lot of muscle to get things out of there, because if they're going for like a rear naked or something like that, trying to break the arm down, if they have it sank in there, there's really no muscling through it. Or there's so many more things to think about, because you want to break their legs down, you want to get out of their hooks.
To get the hooks in
You were trying to get the hooks out, and then you're trying to get your shoulders to the mat. And the whole time, what's the one thing most people look for? Either a bow and arrow or rear naked when they have your back. So you're also trying to fight that. And
I bait the rear naked to get out of that.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
On the Roy Dean that we both do,
Mm-hmm.
he goes through that and shows some ways to get out of that. So you kind of bait the rear naked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they go for it, if you grab the wrist, as they go for it, you can wrist lock them.
Break the wrist, walk away?
No, yeah, you can wrist lock it. Well, you can. Like, when they go to throw it up there, you can grab it real quick and you can wrist lock it. Mm. Even if you can't get the wrist lock, it's enough for they give up on that, and then you can get out of it.
Really?
But that's normally what I try. That's what I do to get out of it.
That's
You'll have to watch it.
Yeah,
it's one of the Roy Dean ones. He's talking about like wrist locks, foot locks, and something else, and he goes in there and they do some scenarios.
I would honestly, and also another really bad position for me is probably attacking from mount.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I
said, I think attacking from mount. I'm just not, because usually what I try to do is I usually try to get them on their side and go for something, or if I try to go for like mount. One of my favorite attacks from mount is the mounted triangle, and I have a pretty high success rate with the mounted triangle because I bait the, people are going to know my game now, but I bait the Americana or something like that. I try to pin one arm against the mat and then work up into high mount and have them think I'm going for something else. And then when usually the people will bridge or something, and that's when I hook the head and bridge back or elevate the head and sweep my leg underneath to get the mounted triangle. One thing I started doing in my mounted triangles to have a higher success rate was I do not try to lock my foot in behind my leg. I simply keep the foot underneath, get it nice and tight, and then I bring my knee past their head, my opposite knee, to one that I would lock behind, right? So say I have the right leg underneath their head, I just take that right knee and I just drive it as high as possible past their head, which ultimately kind of sinks it in tighter instead of me trying to lock it in.
So I'd be interested to know if it's the same for other people. So when you try that on me or other people do, actually my biggest issue I have is shoulder pain. So it's not the choke that gets me, but you know how you slide the arm up?
Yeah.
So when my arm gets to a certain level up here, the shoulder pain is so much.
Really?
I'm no longer worried about the choke. Like,
really?
You might get it, you might not. But now, like, all my attention goes onto the shoulder pain, and if I'm going to have to tap on it, or if it's going to stop at a certain point. I don't know if that's the same for everyone. If they get, I don't, but when it gets high enough because you're pushing it up. That's where my attention goes.
What do you feel like is your weakest spot right now? Because it's been a while since we asked that question. What do you feel like your weakest spot lately has been?
Well, if it's offense, it's definitely, like I said, just guard passing. Like, for some reason, like when it's people that are really flexible, like Cody and Billy. Like, you saw me trying to get past Billy's guard.
Yeah.
Like,
you got swept. That was so good. I was like, you got him, John. No, you don't, John. Sorry.
Like, they're just so good. I feel like I have to bait a triangle.
Yeah.
So they shoot it just so I can pass the leg over.
Right.
But in Cody, it doesn't matter what I do. I can't get past his guard. I've just given up.
Man, I just don't know what it is. I think I got past his guard one time.
I don't know how people do it. I try grabbing pant leg and throwing him up. I try whatever I can. Pushing him down, he's too strong. He just opens it back up. I'm like, maybe that's why there's weight classes. I don't know.
So when we were in Japan, I asked Blaine, because Blaine is very similar build to what Cody is, and Blaine was one of our brown belts out there. And I was like, Blaine, how do I get past butterfly hooks? Because Cody plays a lot of butterfly hooks.
He said knee to the chest?
No, he did not. He said bait the butterfly hooks. That's fine. And then what you do is, and then he showed me the like guard pass, it's kind of like a cartwheel headstand pass. And what you do is when someone has their butterfly hooks in, what you do is you, boom, head straight to their hips on one side of their hips, right? So say if someone's got their butterfly hooks in, I sink my head to the mat, the top of my head to the mat on, let's say, the left side of their hip, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to feed it under and grab their right ankle, or their left ankle, right, because they're facing me. I'm going to grab their left ankle and isolate that ankle. That way they can't, that butterfly hook is pretty much done now, and I'm isolating that leg. And then I'm going to bridge or elevate my hips above and kind of like headstand over into side control and pass that leg, and then I'm in side control in him. I did that one time to Cody, and then obviously he's just so good. He got like a leg right back in front of me. I was like, oh, well, that was close. that was close, but that's one of my ways to combat Cody, and just simply just trying to plow through him and just
Yeah. Defense, I just think I don't know enough sweeps and reversals.
That's
You
a
know?
good point. Yeah. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to crack this banquet beer real quick.
You know me pretty well because we've trained a lot.
Yeah,
but,
especially together.
Yeah, I'm just, anything that requires multiple steps or things like that I struggle with, you know, and that's just the way it is. And I've always been that way. So I've always been uncoordinated, but that's why I like jiu-jitsu is it kind of challenges me that way. So I don't mind.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually claustrophobic. And one way that I combat my claustrophobia is getting in situations where it might take over. So I'm claustrophobic in a sense of small spaces don't really affect me. Like I'm okay in small spaces. What gets me is the feeling of entrapment, right? Like I can't do anything, right? So when that happens in jiu-jitsu, luckily I can use a little bit of strength to get out of the situation, right? But if I'm in a situation where strength can't get me out of it, and I can't get out of the situation, that's when I start getting anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'll just tap to it, right? But
yeah.
I use jiu-jitsu as a way to combat and like mentally build fortitude for my claustrophobia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, those first few months, I'd tap off of that.
Yeah,
if
pressure.
If they were big and heavy and I couldn't breathe. And,
Yeah.
Sometimes your gi goes over your face and they're still putting the
right,
pressure
and you're
on.
like breathing through hot, sweaty gi.
Have you seen that choke that one guy uses? I can't remember it, but like he covers the nose and the mouth.
No.
Like it's not even a choke, right? Like he's cutting off your oxygen.
So he's suffocating you. He's literally trying to murder you.
I can't remember the name of it, but he uses it, and a lot of people don't like it. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it if he gets it and it causes you to tap. That's just the way it is.
Right.
You're gonna have to Google this, but he covers the nose and the mouth so you can't breathe. He takes the back, covers them both. You can't breathe. You have to quit. Like that's just all there is to it.
Pass out for a tap out, bro.
Yeah, no, not me. But you knock yourself out.
That's not me, dog. That's not over here. No, that's like one of our classmates shows this ankle lock from.
Oh yeah.
You take their back.
No,
right.
You're taking his back, and he gets you with.
Right. That's what I meant. Like he's on the bottom. You take his back, and then he'll isolate a leg, and he will basically ankle reap you from laying on his side. So he'll isolate the knee, and then he will triangle the foot, and then extend the hips, pulling the foot away, and give it a straight ankle lock, pretty much. So
yeah, that's an interesting move. It's a little dangerous if you don't know what's going on. When he tried that one on me, luckily, I felt like something was going on.
Yeah,
like he was working for something.
Yeah, because you don't feel it right away until it's too late.
Yeah, I guess like the way it works mechanically, you don't feel the pain until it's too late. I just knew
which is a dangerous thing.
So what I do is if I know someone's trying to do something to me, I'm doing whatever I can just to disrupt it, even if I don't know what it is.
Right.
So when he was trying that one on me, I was like, he's trying something. I'm moving everything. So he couldn't get it.
Right.
But that's a kind of a dangerous one. You got to watch that.
That was he did it on someone, and I think he actually hurt their ankle because he put a little bit too much pressure on it.
Yeah, and actually, Professor addressed it in the next class. And,
like you can do it, just be careful.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the move. Just a lot of people aren't aware of it, so he just wanted to make everyone aware of it. And if you get caught in that, then
don't be afraid to tap.
Tap early.
Because you are not going to. It's because it's putting flexion in your ankle, right, to where you're extending your foot, kind of like if you were to look at your foot and you're pointing your toes to the ground. Right, so you're not gonna. A lot of people aren't gonna feel that until it's too late. Right, he says a common thing is unfortunately people pop their ankles when it happens, and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was going on." Boom, and now they got a blown out ankle.
So I some advice I would give people that are kind of new to this is tap often, tap early, and if you don't, then you're probably not trying because you want to try all these things you're going over in class. You want to try new things. And when you try new things, you're going to leave yourself exposed, and you're probably going to get caught a lot more than you want. But there's nothing wrong with that because you're not going to learn if you're not trying.
Yeah. I talked about this with you the other day, is when I roll with Professor, who is a black belt, that's who I honestly try different things with, man. I'm trying to I like
Don't you feel like you're hurting him sometimes? Like I stop. And he's like, no, keep going.
He's like,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be so cognitive of how much pressure I'm putting on someone and how much strength I'm using. The second I feel like I'm using too much now, I'm trying to stop right away. Like even before, or if I catch someone in this, I couldn't even tell you the last time I actually finished a submission. I think I got a mounted triangle the other day, and I just wanted to try the technique of the knee passing right instead of locking it in. And I think that was the last submission, and it was maybe 5-6 weeks since I've actually submitted someone, ever since what happened in class that one day. And so most of the time what I'm doing now is I'm working on positioning and trying to pass guard and whatnot. So, but Professor goes hard on me, bro. That guy goes ham on me. He's like, Travis, ready to go? I'm like,
shitty made out kind of tech.
Yeah. And I'm like looking away like, Professor, you ain't gonna punk me today. But he gets things on me that I'm like, man, how do I get out of this, dude? But once again, he's a black belt. The other day he tried to do a bow and arrow where he's on his back, I'm on my back, and he has my pant leg and collar, except for his head is in my ribs. I forgot what it's called. And then he kind of just pulls down. And luckily, my collar wasn't actually on my neck. It was kind of across my chin area, so he couldn't finish it. But I was like, man, how did I end up here? You ever end up in a position where you're like, wait, what just happened? How did I get here, bro?
All the time.
All the time. I mean, I end up on the mat, and I'm like, this isn't where I parked my car. How'd I get a gi on?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next couple months, but I really want to come up with a plan on how to train and get a little better, maybe more preparedness. I wish, like I said, the mat's always open. Maybe we just need to get some people in there to really try some stuff out.
I know. I want to. Anytime you want to, I'm a coach at the CrossFit side, so I have a key to the gym, and hopefully Cody doesn't listen to this to where I say this. But if you ever want to train,
well, Cody said it's always open for us at this point.
That's good. That's good because I'm always down to train.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any time.
And if Cody is listening to this, I'm waiting on that jiu-jitsu strength training we talked about in that last podcast. You know what I'm saying?
So I was thinking about it, and it got brought up to me the other day. Oh, excuse me. It got brought up to me the other day. I was talking to Derek, who was, once again, on the 3rd episode of Elbows Type Podcast. Derek Dodd.
He got 3rd place no-gi.
Yeah, he got 3rd place no-gi. Guy did great. He was like, what do you do for, like, right now? And I was like, he's like, what are you doing right now? And we were, like, sitting in the gym, and I was smart. I was like, yeah, I'm a smart aleck remark. I was like, well, I'm standing here waiting for jiu-jitsu class. He's like, no, I mean, because we were talking about working out. Yeah. He's like, what do you do for working out? I was like, well, I mean, I jump into a CrossFit class every once in a while when I can. And he mentioned that he was doing Cody's specialty training right now or something like that. So I think Cody might have it out, but I think you have to go to him and ask for it.
I'll have to ask. I saw somebody put on the CrossFit site today. They were like, what's your biggest weakness in CrossFit? But they wanted one word. And I was like, man, how do I encompass that in one word?
Wall ball.
Well, no, I couldn't convey what I wanted to in one word, so I just went with like my secondary problem, which is recovery.
Yeah.
We work so many long hours in CrossFit and jiu-jitsu, and kids have stuff like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night with our schedule, and what we're putting on our bodies is just tough.
Yeah.
And I think this last week I crashed. I was like, man, I am sick. I slept a lot. I'm still not all the way there. And I'm like, I'm just shooting for Monday. Like, let me get enough for Monday. But anyway, I wanted to put on there, like, for me, it's like, not boredom. I think me and you have talked about it, right? But
in CrossFit?
Yeah. Like, I want to train for something I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at this point. Like, I'm going to continue to do it because I want to build strength. But I'd rather do it in a fashion towards a goal.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Because one thing Cody always talks about is your why.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
why are you showing up to class? Why are you doing anything? If you don't have a why, you're kind of just not really wasting your time, because anytime you better yourself, it's good.
Yeah.
Right? But what is the core fundamental idea behind why you are doing it? Right? If you want to be a better jiu-jitsu practitioner, what are you doing is your CrossFit class helping you with that?
Yeah, and I think we talked about it. I think mine's actually hurting my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe because you're doing it straight before class too.
Yeah, I take an hour break, but it's like, man, I think it's affecting the actual workout for my jiu-jitsu. Not in a different kind of way than what I'm looking for.
I mean, you're pretty. You are physically tired from the workout. Like,
that's true.
There's no doubt about it, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing a grippy workout, like you're doing a hang movement, like a hang power clean or a hang clean and jerk, and some like toes to bar, and then you go into jiu-jitsu. Grip strength is a big thing in
like
jiu-jitsu.
Those armbar drills where we had to swing with our legs. I was like, man, do you know how many squats I just did? Like,
you know how many wall balls I just did?
I cannot feel my legs at this point. Yeah. It's just interesting.
Yeah, no, it's true. I would love Chewy from Jiu-Jitsu Derby. Oh man, what's the name of his gym over in North Carolina? Anyways, if you look him up on social media, it's Chew Jitsu, CHEW Jiu-Jitsu or Jitsu. He just came out with the strength and programming, or strength and conditioning programming for Jiu-Jitsu right after we recorded the episode with Cody. And Cody, I sent a text to Cody, and he said, well, looks like I was too slow, man. I was like, dang. But I would like to, he charges for his.
Yeah, he does.
And I think it's $40 for his 8-week programming, which is not a bad deal.
Not at all.
At all. And he is a fantastic jiu-jitsu practitioner, teacher, and whatnot. Like, he puts so much content out there for everyone. It's hard to believe that it's not good. You know what I mean? So I was thinking about trying that and just seeing what it looks like. But then again, like, if Cody has it,
yeah, I'd rather
come at me, bro.
Yeah,
at me in the DMs.
Mm-hmm. Cody, you listen to this?
If you listen to this, Cody, at me.
Yeah, for sure.
Strength, but I would like to get jiu-jitsu strong before November, right?
Me too. I want to. Like I told you, I want to go in there and just, I want to be overpowering and energetic and fast.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree. Because there's nothing feels better than just manhandling someone.
Basically, I want to go for 4 minutes, 100%. That's what I want.
That'd be legit, dude.
I don't want there to be a drop off. I want to be able to go the whole 4 minutes, 100%.
That'd be legit.
That's my goal.
Yeah, if you watch like the world class guys, like at like IBBJF Worlds and all these, the ADCC is coming up, which is another big no-gi competition. A lot of those guys, man, they're going hard for the entire time, with like small rest in between to like recover positions or something like that. But a lot of times those guys are going at it, man. They are getting after it, and it's pretty cool to watch.
That's why I'm wondering if it's an impossible goal. I mean, you got to figure.
I don't think it is, man.
Well, you got to think about it. Those guys, that's their job and their life.
Right, yeah, obviously.
We're working 60, 70 hours a week with normal lives. So
yeah.
It's interesting.
That's true, but I think even I don't want to say at your age,
right.
But at 40, 41, I still think you are young enough and healthy enough at your point to get to that, to get to your goal that you would like, especially at something like that. I just think it's going to take a lot of focus and a lot of application of exactly what you're doing in order to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to know every day what you want to accomplish and how you are going to do it. There can't be any, lack of focus in what you want. I think you could still do it, but something has to give somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
It's a give and take. Like I think I was reading a book or listening to a speaker one time, and he was talking about how you can only have 3 things in your life that you are focusing on that you can do at a sustainable level, right? Anything past 3 and something isn't, it has to give, right? You can't do that, right? Optimally, 2 things in your life that you're focusing on is optimal, right? Or maybe even 1. But anything past 3, something is gonna be slacking, right? You can't sustain 3 or anything greater than 3, right?
Yeah, I'd agree.
So work, family, jiu-jitsu, right? You throw strength and conditioning in there, then what's gonna slack?
Yeah, and we've
right?
talked about it. Like, if I really wanted to just go strength training for that, like, I'm gonna have to, like, something's gonna have to give. Like,
Right.
I
You
can't do
you
all
have
of
to
them.
take it from somewhere, whether
Yeah.
it's your family time, whether it's you don't work 9 hours, 10 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
And you don't work as much OT, right? You don't do CrossFit as much. Like something you have to take it from
Yeah.
somewhere else. You
Mama
can't
needs
do
her
it.
money, so
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, no, okay, we never said that.
Yeah,
There's
right.
But, and that's a big focus too, is like, because in my life right now, the things that take up almost all of my time is my family, work, and then jiu-jitsu or coaching, right? I'll say the gym.
The gym. That's
Not-
the way I put it.
And not in the sense of just like, if I'm not coaching, I'm usually in jiu-jitsu or working out, right? So I'm almost there 5 days a week. So the gym, my family, and my job take it up.
Same for me.
You know what I mean? So if I wanted to throw another thing in there, like a strength and conditioning or something else, one of those three things has to give. I have to spend less time with my family, I have to spend less time coaching, or I have to just spend less time at work, so.
For mine, CrossFit would just have to morph into strength and conditioning.
Right.
Like, that's just the way it would
Right,
have to
exactly.
go.
You wouldn't be able to do your CrossFit class anymore. It would have to be,
Yep.
right? So then you're losing one thing.
Correct.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to keep it at those three.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
no way you could sustain 4 or 5 things, right? People that do that aren't doing something at a high level, right? Like you something is easier than the others. You're not putting as much effort into something if you're doing more than 3. So it makes sense though, but
I wonder what other people do. If anybody wants to comment on that, let us know.
yeah, you can hit us up once again at we have a Facebook page at Elbows Type Podcast on Facebook, at Elbows Type Pod on the gram. We're trying to get more interaction on the gram. If you guys are listening to this and you want, I should have said this at the beginning of the episode, but if you guys are listening to this and you want to tag us in it, post it, we will restory it, repost it on our Instagram story. We have a new social media manager. Well, we've had her for a while. We're going to shout out to Cody, El Presidente. She's our social media manager. So she's the one that does a lot of the Instagram posts and whatnot. And Facebook posts, she sends me things and she's like, hey, I need you to post this on the Facebook. Hey, I need you to post this on the Instagram. Hey, this is your description for your episode.
Right.
So it's nice to have that. And she's a very smart woman. And her writing abilities for descriptions of what we're doing are fantastic, man. I'm like, man, we sound professional. Like, so if you guys want to comment at us or hit us up on any social media, you can find us everywhere at Elbows Type Podcast. Along with we're on every streaming platform for things too. So, and I think I haven't talked. This is going to be new for John, but I'm thinking about recording these or streaming these live also.
Oh Lord,
on the YouTubes.
I think we're ready to buy that mobile recording unit.
Yeah. So the next big investment, guys, that we're going to be doing, so we don't have to have everyone come to my house in my spare bedroom that's now my studio, is we are going to buy a portable recorder. That way we can meet up with people wherever they are.
Well, they probably don't know that this whole setup is funded by myself and Travis.
Yes. Everything that you guys hear, and what, yeah, it's all funded by us. Like there is absolutely zero money in this right now. We do this. We're 7 episodes deep, and we have done it all by ourselves just because we absolutely love it. Joe Rogan talks about it. He did it for 5 years before he made $1, and Joe Rogan's famous. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with doing this for as long as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
But the great thing about this podcast is I don't know about you, but every time someone talks to me about this podcast, they absolutely love it. They say we have great chemistry, great content, and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for all the support lately. I just want to say that real quick, because if we were getting a bunch of negative feedback, like you guys are terrible at this, you guys should probably stop, I don't think we would stop, but I think we would definitely be a little bit more discouraged. So thank you guys so much for all the positive feedback.
I'd like to know if any listeners want to get a like we talked about getting some kids on here, like maybe getting some of their perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know if any adults have kids in jiu-jitsu and they want to hear some stuff.
Yeah.
We're down for that because we got some great ones that go to our school.
We do. We really do. Also, one thing that I got a phone call yesterday from a place, I forgot what it's called, but it was for custom patches.
What?
Yeah, because I posted, I filled out a form online, but we will be getting Elbow Tight Podcast
we need to do that
pages,
right away.
some
patches.
patches, man. So that's gonna be cool. And I'm gonna put that thing on my.
I can't wait to
bro.
get a rash guard.
Get rash guard. I mean, we're gonna be Elbow Tight Media.
We're gonna
everything.
we're gonna represent November.
That's right. That's right. It's gonna be a picture.
There'll be at least 2 people with Elbows Tight Podcast patches and rash guards. But we're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. I'm down. Yo, so I just gotta get a hold of back in Japan we had custom made rash guards.
Those are my favorites.
And they are amazing. And they were like $40 each. So I'm gonna find out who they went through and probably do that. So but I think we're good, man.
I think we're good.
You think we're good?
I think we're good.
Hey, so once again, if you guys haven't followed us already on the social media, at Elbow Tight Podcast on Facebook, at Elbow Tight Pod on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. My personal page is Travis ETP, at Travis ETP on Instagram. John, what's yours?
No idea, but you can probably find it if you look at Travis's.
You can probably find it, right? Because I'm always tagging them and stuff. But if you guys want to follow us on social media, please do. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to. That is how we get found more. And please share to your family and friends, man. Thank you guys so much for everything. This is episode 7.
Woo-woo.
We are 7 episodes deep, man. Oh, and quick little thing. We got people in Brazil listening to us.
Wow.
We got people in Spain listening to us. People in Canada listening to us. We were right, baby.
Maybe we'll meet them in Spain if we do the cruise next year.
There we go. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Remember, no oil checks here, and you guys have a fantastic night. Later.